Hey Star Trek fans, Dan Gunther here. Welcome to another new episode of the Star Trek News Desk, where I bring you all the week's news from Star Trek. Once again, Discovery is dominating the Star Trek news headlines, so let's take a look at the week's top stories. On July 27th, Entertainment Weekly posted a video that was shot during their EW Star Trek Discovery cover shoot. The video features interviews with a number of stars of Star Trek Discovery, including Sonequa Martin-Green, Michelle Yeoh, Jason Isaacs, Shazad Latif, Doug Jones, Anthony Rapp, and Mary Wiseman. The video gives us a bit of an insight into how the various actors view their characters, the show, and the idea of Star Trek, not to mention getting our first real look at Mary Wiseman's cadet uniform. She stars as Cadet Tilly, and as you can see in this picture here, her insignia is a little different from the rest of the crew. Presumably, because we have learned that she is a fourth-year cadet at Starfleet Academy, the bars behind the Starfleet Delta indicate what year she's in at the Academy. The cover shoot allowed us to see some areas of Discovery that we haven't seen before, such as the transporter room of the Discovery, as well as what's presumably the bridge, although it is a very limited view and some details are hard to make out. Also glimpsed are Doug Jones' character, Lieutenant Saru's feet, which, as we learned in the SDCC panel, are actually hooves. It's interesting to see how those actually look in the costume. I can't imagine they're entirely comfortable for Doug Jones to wear. However, he does have a lot of experience playing various otherworldly aliens and creatures, so it's all just probably another day on the job for him. The current issue of Entertainment Weekly featuring the Star Trek Discovery cover is available on newsstands now. The issue itself does contain 3 different covers, so keep an eye out for those. Among the stories featured in the special Star Trek Discovery Entertainment Weekly issue is the full story behind Bryan Fuller's departure from the show. One of the biggest revelations from this story is Bryan Fuller's initial vision for the show. It turns out that his initial idea was for an anthology-type Star Trek series, with the Discovery prequel being just the first part of the show. Over the course of the series, the proposed television show would journey through the eras of Captain James T. Kirk and Captain Jean-Luc Picard, and also go to beyond a time that has never been seen before. Fuller says, the original pitch was to do for science fiction what American Horror Story had done for horror. It would platform a universe of Trek shows. CBS apparently countered the pitch with the idea of doing one single serialized show and seeing how it performed from there. It was a fair compromise between CBS and Fuller, but it did demonstrate the first conflict of vision between the powerful company and the writer that would lead to a dramatic falling out, according to the Entertainment Weekly article. From there, CBS and Bryan Fuller continued to have creative differences. According to the EW article, the studio hired David Semel to direct the Discovery pilot against Fuller's wishes. The two clashed in pre-production, with sources saying Fuller thought that he was wrong for the job. Eventually, frustrated with a number of issues, including the series running over budget and Fuller's split time between Star Trek Discovery and American Gods, the network decided to cut their losses and let Bryan Fuller go. In a somewhat sobering coda to this story, EW reports that many months later, Fuller saw the Star Trek Discovery trailer. How did he feel watching that? Fuller pauses. What I can say is, my reaction was that I was happy to see a black woman and an Asian woman in command of a starship. That to me almost sounds like damning with faint praise, which makes me think that Discovery may be significantly different from the initial vision that Fuller had, and has changed quite a bit since his departure from the show, which is very unfortunate. I would really have loved to have seen what Fuller's ultimate direction for Discovery would have been. Perhaps one day he will be back at the helm of Star Trek, but for now, we have Star Trek Discovery without Fuller's hand on the wheel. A surprising Star Trek rumor emerged this past week surrounding writer-director Nicholas Meyer. Perhaps best known for directing Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan and Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country, Meyer's involvement in Star Trek Discovery is one of the things that gives me greatest hope for the series. However, a new rumor has come out that he may be working on another Star Trek project. According to website geekexchange.com, Nicholas Meyer may be working on a limited series about Khan Noonien Singh. According to the website, Meyer is reportedly developing a prequel miniseries or a limited series that would take place during Khan's exile on Ceti Alpha 5, in between the Star Trek episode Space Seed and the feature film Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. The article itself does not cite any specific sources for this rumor, so please definitely take it with a grain of salt. However, this is very interesting, and if anything new develops on this story, we will be sure to bring it to you. But for now, treat this as a very unsubstantiated rumor. Fansets, a company that develops collectible pins based on famous science fiction and pop culture franchises, recently revealed on their Instagram a limited edition USS Shenzhou pin. Now, from this pin, we have learned that the class name for the Shenzhou in Star Trek Discovery is Walker class. Could the class name be an homage to Sonequa Martin Green's previous character on the show The Walking Dead? As funny as that would be, it does not seem to be the case. We've learned from designer John Eves that the class name for the Shenzhou actually comes from Joseph Albert Walker, a U.S. astronaut. He flew the world's first 2 space planes in 1963. Hopefully between now and the premiere of Star Trek Discovery, we learn more about all the ships in the show, including what class is the Discovery. Well, that's all from this episode of the Trek News Desk. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to say about any of the news stories that I've reported on in this episode, please feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like, please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. Links are all in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, live long and prosper.